G'day, visiting the wonderful Mount Barney, and today on a fitness walk up to the southeast Razorback. Yes, I haven't walked seriously in about 6 weeks, and I know that my fitness is low, and so yes, I like to have a base fitness to take on the bee, so that's the mission for today. And this is, of course, the forest walk to the lower ridge. This is the lower ridge, and the track heads up that way. And on my left, as many of us know, this is the old track, and it leads down to the campsites on Cronin Creek. I'm going to go over there. There's a small flat spot on a rise, and use the drone. Just a little further along this track are a group of rocks that seem to have weathered differently than the rocks on the higher mountain. Here's this little open spot. There used to be some nice resting logs here, but they've been burnt away. That will do nicely. There's a little light rain about. It's not too bad though. I'll continue. Okay, back on track. And heading up. This tangled mess has to be climbed through. Here's the rocky lookout on the lower outcrop. And that's the saddle. I've just come up from there. Just a little more general information about this ridge. That's the blind ridge in the background there. And this ridge in the foreground joins up at the switchback, about 50 metres higher than here. View from the shady lookout. As we can see, there's rain about, but only in certain valleys. It's bound to be our turn soon. And yeah, often I see these growing on the tree trunks. They're fairly common, you've probably seen them too. Occasionally they get knocked down and we can check them out. I guess they're a fungus. And yeah, they feel a bit like a cross between esky and sponge. Okay, head up to the switchback now. And that rock wall on the right is that ridge adjacent to here, and the switchback gets through the top of it. There's this pinnacle where it all joins together, and the switchback is just beyond it. So yeah, the marker is the pinnacle from this angle, and it's a sharp one. Second marker at the top of the switchback, and I'll just have a look off this adjacent ridge here. And here it is. And a little bit further there's another ridge, so we can see that there's quite a few ridges in this area. And I'm able to see over to the blind ridge as well. And looking back down from here, that's the pinnacle at the switchback. And this is what the switchback leads us away from, just down here, this channel through the slippery slabs. And a whole bunch of branches have been placed here to stop people going down the wrong way. Just another one of those inviting looking trails. Oh man. Okay, climb to the Razorback, and I'll describe some of the features along the way. Not very much higher, a tree has fallen over the track here and kind of obscured it and made a big mess that has to be gotten through. And this is where I've just come up from. We can see that it's all very straightforward. Just a little above there, this route crosses these slippery rocks here and then continues around on what I would describe as the main footpad. But this area is pretty much crisscrossed with small trails. For example, just to the right of these slippery rocks, another footpad heads down there, and it's quite a good track. I followed it just a minute ago while the battery went flat, and it bypasses that whole messy section that I just walked through. And there are also some scrambling routes on the left hand side of this ridge as well. But with this drizzly weather, I'll just stick to the footpad. Footpad's been straightforward and easy to follow, if steep, but I've never really spoken about this striking rock here. It's so smooth and shapely that it almost deserves a name. It may already have one, but I haven't heard of it. But maybe if I were to take a guess myself, Moby Dick, the white whale, looks a little like a giant slug or maybe a caterpillar. It's a big one. Directly above that striking rock, the pad stays right of this large slab. And now approaching the lower Razorback. And as I've said before, the track joins up at this cleft. It's quite sheer, isn't it? I'm just going to pop up onto this little outlook here, see if there's anywhere to fly the drone there. This is that top. And from here we can see further along the Razorback. It's very striking from this angle. And also to the higher mountain. Looking across the blind ridge here, and the length of it, we can see that it joins up quite high on the mountain. I've always wondered what it's like out on that ridgeline. It looks like it's got a couple of tough sections, like that one for instance. Just a last look at the sheer cliffs of the Razorback. It wasn't very good for the drone over there, and a little bit windy too. I'll try up further. Here's this other cleft. And there's also this protruding rock here. And of course we climb here. Here's the top of the Razorback. And a nice resting rock to have some refreshments. And so that's pretty much job done. My legs feel really good. There's nothing worse than having them go to jelly at the summit and then having to get back down on them, but not today. It's an investment for the future. Thinking to finish up with a few drone shots, although I'm quite limited because of the angle of the sun behind the mountain here, and there's also some rain on the way around the edges, so I'll have to be really quick. And after that I'm thinking to put the cameras away so that I can get down fairly quickly. So I'm thinking to wrap it up here. That's it from me. See ya!